Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel, and today we're gonna have a new Dying Light 2 test. This is the new benchmark for the open world gaming. Here it is, the last time Dying Light 2. Born from the ashes of that island, Dying Light has been an astonishing success, managing to ensure a certain longevity and arouse a great deal of interest in the middle of the survival game with zombies, quickly saturated as the industry regulated and its no stream. Careful follow-up spin-off the Battle Royale unfortunately underrated with the Dying Light Bad Blood. The franchise has never really left the players' radars and returned to us today with an episode 2 that overflows with ambitions. 6 years of the development through with the pitfalls would have been necessary for Dying Light 2 to see the light of the day, as much to say there is efforts, and this tenacity have paid off. So, moving on. The events of the Dying Light 2 Stay Human takes place about 20 years after those of the first opus. The state of the play is not encouraging. The virus that is turning people into infected has ravaged most of the survivors. Survivors who today live in an eclectic isolated from the outside world. However, a city was organized and it's today one of the last bases of humanity, the will endure. Despite the walls to protect it, the city is not heaven or peace either, and in addition to in fact still swarming the streets, other conflicts threaten and the balance of the city. When the survivors are trying to unite to collect daily food to enable them to hold on, and self-proclaimed military united under the name of peacemakers tries as much as possible to centralize the vital resources and protect a population of which a part has not asked for anything. Beyond the struggle between two of the factions, you play as Aiden, as a pilgrim. Endowed with a rather unusual resistance to able to survive beyond the enclaves, your hero is in the stage of the little sister whom has separated during the fire that ravaged the hospital, in which both were held captive. This is quest that will lead him to Willendorf, which will make him meet a whole gallery of the characters, and you can imagine get involved in the internet conflicts that had not before foreseen. Even discussing the gameplay of Dying Light 2, it's worth dwelling on its announced Desires 13, the narrative dimension of its plot. Whenever the environment crossed on the Silas side quest triggered, we feel the Techland desire to give us substance to its universe, in a way in any case more pronounced than in the first part of the franchise. If Dying Light has always wanted to move away from the simple survival by offering more polished stakes than most of its competitions, this second part drives the point home. Rich in twists and turns, the main plot of Dying Light 2 is very well placed, and its narration, a little hesitant in a few hours, manages to refine itself to involve the player very attractively in its course. If we certainly recognize some writing weakness, some cliches which could have been avoided, or some branches that are a little predictable, this narrative turned Dying Light 2 in a success that's only missing a little finesse to be a total. Techland has chosen to involve the player in this universe, and it's very regularly that his choices will be able to take into account more of medium term, so that the overall orientation of the main plot is impacted. So certainly the conclusion can turn out to be a bit binary, but the way to achieve it can differ from the other part to another. Supporting this or that faction or preserving your interest instead of the common good will be dilemmas that you will face, and actions, of course. So at least partially you have feel the consequences. Don't expect a total plot twist, but your actions and decisions will factor into the game, and you will be surprised that the same effort has gone into the side quest. No, not all of ones you accept will be breathtaking, but most of them have been taken care of that they don't like a simple FedEx missions, thanks God. Some of them are drawn and reserved surprise that they are close to the best moment of the main quest, with a few expectations and exceptions obviously. The ancillary content has benefited from a real sense of writing, as has the game universe, which is the vast is the coherent. It should also be noted that the game is quite lively, and random encounters will allow you to rescue the survivors, or the groups trying to repel some zombies. Add to that a particularly neat sound environment, which can range from a simple crying baby to the sounds of the struggle in an apartment in which you will never be able to enter, and you will understand the Wildors is a universe in which it is very immersed to yourself. I also should say that I was playing with my stereo headphones on my PS5, and it was scary as fuck. The game here is not quite French. During our game session, which occupied us for more than 50 hours in the normal mode, taking time to additional content, but still having many points of interest or quests to discover, we were confronted with a few glitches and techniques. If the game is very beautiful, once pushed back to its last enchantments, it turned out to be quite resource intensive and does not avoid a bit of aliasing and clipping on the heights. But this is only a detail in the face of human artificial intelligence, frankly to be revived. The infiltration sequences are thus quite painful to carry out, and the fights, as visceral as they are, can make you smile when renegades are waiting to take hits in a single file, or when in other situation. Finally, on the PC, on the Xbox was encountered some input problems, where certain cases, in particular the environments, can struggle to trigger the associated action, as if they were no longer detected. These problems were quite specific, in the same way as the display on the collision bags, but at the same time, there is a small lack of finish in Dying Light 2, which is no way repeatable without a patch. We have not inquired in any bugs. Note that at this time of writing we learned that the Techland will deploy a day 1 patch that may rectify these problems and also add missing voices or doubling problems that we encountered while playing in the VF. And since we are a register of the weak points, no, the VF is particularly uneven. If the main characters are doing well, other more secondary NPCs miss their subjects. It will therefore be necessary to favor the English version, but for this it will be necessary to switch your launcher or your console to English, the title not allowing you to change the audio on the fly in context of the version. So, there are simply strong points. This is a rich, vast, coherent open world. The night sequence is full of tension and interest. Reinforced parkour, still just enjoyable. Huge lifespan. Neat additional content. About the cons and the weak points, the writing does not dodge a few cliches, the AI to review, and that's all I guess. Anyway, thank you for watching, please subscribe to our channel, peace.